warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, my name is ANNISA ARUM. I'm a student of English Department, University of Riau. Okay, now we will discuss about pronouns and determiner. Now we will have two sections. The first section is we will discuss about what is pronouns and determiner, also their kinds. And the second one is we will discuss about 4 words that can be a pronoun and can be determiner. Okay, now we jump to the first section. What is pronouns and determiner, also their kind? Pronouns and determiners. Okay guys, as you can see on the slide, pronouns is a word that replaces a noun and noun phrase. Using pronouns correctly eliminates unnecessary noun repetition in your writing. I will give you an example. I like him. Him is a pronoun because him is replacing a noun of the sentence. Okay, next, kind of pronouns. Pronouns have several kinds. The first is personal pronouns. Refer to people and things. They can be singular or plural, and their form often change according to their grammatical function in a sentence. And the next is possessive pronouns. They are my, mine, your, yours, and so on. And the next is I, you, she, he, it, they, we as subject pronouns, and me, you, him, her, it as object pronouns. Next, demonstrative pronouns. Used to identifying or point to a noun. For example, this lab report is due tomorrow. That looks like the computer I used to have. This and that is demonstrative pronouns. And the last is relative pronouns. Relative pronouns begin adjective clauses and usually refer to the noun that comes right before them. For example, Rachel is a manager whom everyone respects. I don't know who is responsible for setting up the lab equipment. Whom and who is relative pronouns because begin with adjective clauses and usually refer to the noun that comes right before them. Whom here refer to Rachel and who here refer to I. Okay, now we come to the determiners. A determiner is a general term for the words or a group of words that appear before a noun or a noun phrase. They are meant to describe the noun or noun phrase by either specifying, identifying, or quantifying it. Determiners are also referred to as prenominal modifiers. Determiners are commonly placed before a noun, and their function is to offer some valuable insight about the specific nature of the noun in a question. There are many kinds of determiners. The first is articles. They are a, an, and the. A and an used to modify non-specific or non-particular nouns, while the refer to specific or particular nouns. Second, possessive determiner. They are your, my, our, their, whose, its, her, and so on. Possessive determiners used to modify a noun by attributing possession or of someone or something. For example, your dress, my book, our teacher. Third is demonstrative determiners. Demonstrative determiners used to indicate which entities are being referred to and to distinguish those entities from others. They are this, that, those, and these. The fourth is numerals determiner. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Numeral used to express quantity of the noun. For example, 1 book, 2 book, 3 book, and so on. Fifth, ordinals determiner. They are first, second, third, fourth, and so on. Ordinals used when objects are placed in order, so we use ordinal numbers to tell their position. And the last kind of determiners is quantifiers. Quantifiers used to modify a noun to indicate their quantity. They are a few, another, several, many, a lot of, very. For example, very beautiful, a few moments, several books, and so on. Pronouns and determiners are generally thought of as two distinct word classes. The basic distinction being that determiners go with noun, while pronouns stand alone. However, while there are many pronouns that cannot be determiners, for example, something, most determiners can also be pronouns, with not obvious difference in meaning. A fact that has led some linguists to group them together as one word class. For example, I like this. This here is pronoun. And the second example is I like this idea. This idea here is determiner plus noun. This as determiner. Okay guys, that's all the definition of pronouns and determiners, also their kinds. So now we come to the last section of this discussion. We will discuss about 4 words that can be pronouns and can be determiners. We also will discuss when they use to be an adverb, a pronoun, determiners, and intensifiers. Let's check the following words. The first word is much. Much is used to refer to a large amount of something. Much can be used in the following ways. The first, as a determiner. When much followed by an uncountable noun. For example, there isn't much time left. How much money have you got? Much time and much money. Much here as determiner because followed by an uncountable noun. Time and money is uncountable noun. The second, as a pronoun. For example, he didn't say much. How much did you pay? Much here used as pronoun because much stand alone. Much also use pronoun when followed by of. For example, much of the work has already been completed. Much of, much following by of, so much here as a pronoun. And the next as an adverb. Much used as an adverb when used with a verb or past participle. For example, things haven't changed much. A much-loved member of the family. change much and much love. Much here as an adverb because change and love is verb or past participle. Also, much as an adverb when also much used before a comparative or superlative adjective or adverb. For example, the exam was much easier than I had expected. Large latest films is much the best thing he's done. Much easier and much the best is comparative or superlative adjective or adverb because easier is adverb and the best is adjective. Much also as an adverb meaning to a large extent. For example, I don't like him much. Much here is an adverb because refers to the meaning to a large extent of don't like him. Also, much commonly preceded by intensifier. For example, he missed me by this much. This much. Much used preceded by intensifier. The intensifier is this. Much can sound rather formal, as in the first two examples above. There isn't much time left. How much money have you got? Much here sound rather formal, unless it occurs in non-assertive circumstance such as negative or with intensifiers. I don't like him much and he missed me by this much. Sometimes much sounds wrong if used assertively. I like him much. To avoid this, a lot of can be used. Here are the first two examples and the last one recast. For example, there was a lot of laughter. A lot remains to be discovered. The second word is many. Many means a large number of people or things. Many can be used in the following ways. The first, as a determiner. Many is as determiner when followed by a plural noun. For example, it happened many years ago. How many children have you? Many children and many years. Many here is determiner because years and children is a plural noun. Second, many used as a pronoun. For example, did he write any other books? Not many. Many here pronoun because many stand alone. Many also be pronoun when followed by of. For example, many of you will be going on the university. Many here followed by of. In this case, it is not necessarily referring back to any particular group. It can refer directly to people in general. This sounds very formal. Many also as a predeterminer when followed by the indefinite article a and a singular noun. For example, we shall not see each other again for many a long day. Many a long day. Many here is predeterminer because followed by article a. When used with other determiners, many comes last. Many called as a post-determiner. For example, she's been ill this many weeks. This many. Many here as a post-determiner because preceded by this. This here is also a determiner. Many used as an adjective after a word such as the, his, or less, and followed by a noun. For example, he said goodbye to his many friends. His many friends. Many here is an adjective because preceded by his, also followed by a noun, friends. Many also as a noun in the phrase the many. For example, the few who behave badly spoil the enjoyment of the many. Many here is a noun. Many also used in conjunction with intensifiers such as very to modify the idea of a large number. For example, we don't have very many alternatives. Many here followed by intensifiers. Very. The third word is more. More is the comparative form of much and many. More can be used in following ways. First, as a determiner. More as a determiner when followed by a noun. For example, he wants to spend more time with his family. More time. More here followed by time, so more here is a determiner. Grammatically, more can be a determiner with plural count and non-count nouns. For example, we need more jobs. Thanks for giving me more works. Next, more as a pronoun. For example, I wish I could do more to help. More is a pronoun because more here stand alone. More also is pronoun when followed by of. For example, I'm not going to listen to any more of your lies. More of. More here followed by of, so more here as a pronoun. More also as an adverb, used before an adjective or another adverb. For example, the stereos are more expensive in Japan than they are here. The next example, you should come and visit us more often. More expensive and more often. So more here is an adverb because expensive is adjective and often is adverb. More also as an adverb when used with a verb. For example, I should like to travel more. Travel more. More here preceded by travel. Travel is an verb. A verb. The next is most. More also used as an adverb alone, meaning to a greater degree of amount. For example, we should get together more. We should get together more. More here is to a greater degree or amount of get together. The next, more also used after numbers or expression of quantity. For example, there is one more question that we need to consider. The second example, you'll have to wait a few more minutes. Here, more used after numbers or expressions. More question. Question is expression. More minutes. A few more minutes. Next, there is a potential for ambiguity between these two uses when a noun phrase has more as well as a pre-modifying adjective. For example, we need more experienced teachers. More here is ambiguity because we don't know. Does this mean more teachers who are experienced, more as determiner, or teachers who are more experienced, more as comparative? It could be either. And more also commonly pre-modified by any, some, and much. For example, I can't take any more. More here pre-modified by any. And the last word is most. Most is the superlative form of much and many and can be used in the following ways. The first, most as an adverb when used before an adjective or another adverb. For example, a most interesting lecture. The second example, the question that is asked most often. Most here used before an adjective and an adverb because interesting and often. Interesting is adjective and often is adverb. Most also as an adverb when used with a verb. For example, love is what these children need most. Most is used with verb need. And also most as an adverb when used after the. For example, Angie looks the most like her father. Angie looks the most like her father. Most here as an adverb because used after the. Most also used as an adverb to form the superlative and adjective or adverbs. For example, most beautiful or most beautifully. There is another situation where most pre-modifies an adjective as an intensifier meaning very. For example, you are most kind. Most kind is most here pre-modifies an adjective kind and most also can be intensifier meaning very. Most also used as a determiner when used with plural count nouns and non-count nouns to mean the greatest number of amount or of something. For example, most tutorials are taught by teaching assistants. Most here used with plural count nouns and refer to the greatest number of tutorials. Most also used as a pronoun. For example, all the victims were male, and most were between the ages of 15 and 25. Most here as pronoun because stand alone. Also, most used as pronoun were used after the. For example, we all ate a lot, but Ashley ate the most. Most followed by most here used with the, so most here is a pronoun. Most as a pronoun also when followed by of. For example, most of my friends live in this area. Most of. most followed by of. And most also used in expression. For example, I like it most of all. Okay guys, we come to the end of this discussion. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Hopefully it can be useful for you. And also you can check more references to get more understanding about pronouns and determiner. And also you can check my references of this material in my description box. Thank you very much. Sorry if there is mistake. Goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Funny when I think about the months that I could not get out of bed. Going back and forth over the letters that I